What's up, YouTube? BB368 coming at you with a bit of a discussion video, obviously, on the Mystic Mine field spell that came out in Dark Neostorm. I'm going to assume that most of you know what this card does. For those of you who don't, who just happen to be passing by, my opponent controls more monsters than me, and I have this field spell out. He can't attack or activate any monster effects. Same goes for me if I control more than him. Destroy the card if we both control the same amount of cards. Short and simple, that's basically what it is. It's a very degenerate card for the game. I mean, it does take some setup, hoping that your opponent basically doesn't have the only out to stopping it, which is basically Metaverse. If you are opening for... If you're a burn player and you're going turn 0 with this card and you open with Mystic Mine in your hand, it's a dead card. It's going to blow itself up if you're stupid enough to activate it on your own turn. It blows itself up because it is technically the end phase. Your opponent hasn't summoned any monsters. You have no monsters. It blows up. That is the card effect. It is, I guess, Konami's way of balancing out the card, but us Yu-Gi-Oh players, being the innovative bunch that we are, they have found a way around that. Introducing Lilith, the fiend from the Lair of Darkness structure deck. For those who don't know, she can tribute a dark monster on the field, including herself, and it is a quick effect. So if you try to negate her effect or whatever, she can just chain it. Cool. I'm still gonna get the one card I need. Basically, tributes herself, grabs 3 normal trap cards from your deck, shuffle them up, your opponent randomly picks one, and you automatically set that to the field. So can't be Ash Blossomed because you're not adding it to your hand. It's being automatically set to the field. So can't negate its effect. Doesn't add anything. So again, you can't Ash Blossom it, and it goes right to your field. So obviously, if you're picking 3 Metaverse, your opponent already knows where it is, and they know that you're basically set up the next turn. So when they draw and they summon a monster, it automatically blows itself up. Honestly, this is the kind of deck where it's like, do I even want to play any cards on my field? Because I can draw cards in my hand, but as long as I don't set anything or activate any monsters or anything, or if I normal summon monsters or anything, my opponent basically can't do anything. They can either burn 2 cards, activating Metaverse, activating the activating the Mystic Mine, and I don't summon any monsters, I pass. Blows itself up. But that's where the other problem of the burn deck comes in. They now actually have a reason to play token spamming cards, like the Yugioh Trio. Summon 3 monster tokens to your opponent's side of the field. Automatically locks yourself in. So your opponent is always going to have more monsters than you, and there's nothing you can do about it. You dark hole yourself, you're going to take 900 burn damage. Might not be much, but at the same time, they can just activate another Yugioh Trio. Or any other kind of Yugioh trap card. I believe there's one other one that can, again, summon monsters to your opponent's side of the field. Thank God Grinder Golden's gone, because I think that's the main reason also why. That was another reason why they were banning that card. Was because they knew this was going to come out, and if it did, Lord help us. But again, nobody likes this card except for burn players. And again, you guys want to play burn, that's cool. It's your own preference, but please don't play this. I can see why a lot of people want this card to be emergency banned. I would say, honestly, in its defense, let's see what happens over here. It is a completely different format here than it is over in the OCG. Let's see what happens. Let's see what they can do with this deck, if it can top or do anything. It hasn't seen its day here yet. I believe the box set did just come out, and it should be legal now. So, let's see what happens. Over there, I believe that it has at least made it to the top 8 at 2 tournaments. So, the card has promise, but honestly, again, it should never have seen the light of day. This is a very degenerate card. There's a reason that Thunder King got hit the 1, because you summon Thunder King, set 4 back row pass. Your opponent can't add any cards to their hand, and if they summon a big beater that you can't deal with, just get rid of it. Thunder King just gets rid of it. And Kaiser Coliseum again with the Boojins. You summon Yamato. As long, basically, you always almost open with Yamato. Summon Yamato, activate Kaiser Coliseum, pass. There's a reason that guy hit, because again, degenerate card for the game. Basically preventing your opponent from being able to even play. That's what this card excuse me. That's what this card does, and it's not healthy for the game at all. Will it get emergency banned? Again, we will have to see what happens with upcoming tournaments and everything else. Regionals, YCSs, everything else. We're going to have to see what happens. I hope, if they are turning out to be huge, if the card itself does become a huge detriment to the game, yes, get rid of it. It's not healthy for the game at all. Because again, chain burn deck, 40 card deck that runs 3 monsters, whereas everybody else is usually running 20 plus monsters now in a lot of decks. Are running, I would probably say a good healthy, like a normal Yu-Gi-Oh deck would run between 15 and 18, unless you're running the pendulums, which that's usually like in the low to mid 20s. Makes sense. A lot of decks do require skill. Endymion requires a huge amount of skill. It's a very complicated deck, especially with learning how the pendulum mechanics work, especially compared to if you had been gone, missed the induction of Link monsters to how it is played now. Now monster placements are actually where the skill comes in. You have to be very careful where you're placing all your cards, because again, if you take up a Link arrow, if you're opening turn 1 and your opponent has a monster in their extra zone and you just wasted one of your zones in your thing, you just messed up. It takes skill. You have to be very mindful about where you're putting your cards. Whereas a burn deck like this with this card takes no skill at all. It is literally saying, have fun, set 5, pass. What skill is that? There is no skill in that. It's absolutely ridiculous in my eyes. Again, especially when people have, again, invested time and money into this game to make these top tier decks, and for it all to be for nothing to a deck that's most expensive card is Extravagance. 3 copies of Extravagance as being its most expensive card, where everything else for the core is probably $30 or less. That's, in a way, it's very poisonous for the game. It's a direction that I thought Konami has avoided before, and either that or they have obviously corrected that mistake, but now they just remade it with the induction of this card. It just makes no sense to me. But let me know what you guys think about this card. Should it be emergency banned? Should we not even let it see the light of day in a tournament? Or should we give it a chance, see what happens? Again, we do have a different format here from the OCG, so there is a possibility it might not do that well over here. But honestly, for me, I would like to just dodge that bullet altogether and not let it get loaded into the chamber, if you know what I'm saying. But this is BB368. That's my opinion on Mystic Mine. Again, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below, and if you do like this, check out some of my other videos on my YouTube channel. I do plenty of deck profiles, other discussion videos, and also I will hopefully be getting some actual duels in with my locals. I just need to figure out a few things with my with basically whoever runs the shop to make sure everything's fine with me recording there and whatnot, and seeing if some of the players would actually like to have their decks and whatnot on my channel. But until then, this is BB368 signing out.